Is the universe teasing us with some grand cosmic irony? Or are we standing on the very edge of the most transformative revelation in human history? Think about this staggering fact. In the entire 4.5 billion year timeline of Earth, humanity has never, not once, possessed the tools to study the chemistry of an interstellar visitor in real time until right now. We are witnessing a 1 in a billion moment, yet instead of clarity, what we're seeing are contradictions so severe they border on impossible. I published an analysis suggesting that this object, Re-I Atlas, displayed hints of directed motion. It carried an anti-tail that pointed toward the sun instead of away from it, and a concentrated jet that fired inward, behaviors identical to what a stabilizing spacecraft might perform. I labeled this a potential technosignature, and then came the nickel vapor, detected when the object was still nearly 4 times farther from the sun than Earth. Metal vaporizing in deep space, at temperatures where such a thing should never occur, and yet it did. Its chemical ratios added another layer of strangeness. The CO2 to water ratio hovered around 8:1, one of the highest ever measured in a comet. Some called it chemically impossible, others whispered about industrial origins. I noted that its nickel to iron ratio mirrored something found not in nature, but in refinery-grade nickel alloys, and the light it emitted, unsettling. It glowed with an unusually blue bias. Its polarization was extreme and negative, a signature no other comet had ever displayed. By late October, 3I Atlas was plunging ever closer to the Sun. On October 29, 2025 at 11:27 UTC, it reached perihelion, its closest point to our star, traveling at nearly 42 miles per second. Astronomers everywhere were armed with the world's most advanced instruments, waiting for one crucial answer: what would the radio telescopes reveal? 5 days before perihelion, October 24, 2025, the Mercat array in South Africa detected something. And what it discovered changed the nature of the debate. DJ Pisano, professor of extragalactic multi-wavelength astronomy at the University of Cape Town, made the announcement. Mercat's 64 antennas had captured radio absorption lines, not a broadcast, not an intentional transmission, something far more decisive: hydroxyl radicals, water molecules, the fingerprints of natural cometary outgassing. The signal arrived at 2 frequencies, 1.665 GHz and 1.667 GHz, the exact region of the spectrum long called the water hole, the quiet band where SETI researchers have theorized that intelligent life might choose to communicate. And yes, the discovery came just days before perihelion. But that wasn't the strangest part. We live in an era where our most sophisticated telescopes are pointed at an object from another star system. JWST has studied it, Hubble has captured it, radio observatories are listening, and when Meerkat detected those hydroxyl lines, the entire argument shifted. If 3I Atlas were a purely metallic craft, as some theories suggested, there should not have been any hydroxyl in the coma. A solid engineered hull cannot produce the chemical markers of water sublimation in sunlight, and yet, there they were. Meerkat's data was clear. 3I Atlas contained water. It was outgassing, naturally, exactly as models predicted, 5 days before perihelion when solar heating peaked. This had never been observed from an interstellar object before, but the public never heard the part that troubled me most. When the hydroxyl announcement was released, I acknowledged it, but I did not concede that the mystery was solved. In a blog post about the detection, I made something clear. Even with water confirmed, I refuse to rule out other possibilities. This matters. It shows that accepting official explanations simply because they are official is not science. Between July and October, the world's observatories had tracked 3I Atlas intensely. The data revealed something that didn't perfectly match known comet behavior, yet still obeyed extreme physics in harsh environments. Meerkat had tried twice, September 20th and 28th, to find hydroxyl. Both attempts failed because the comet was too cold. But on October 24th, everything aligned, literally. 3I Atlas sat 3.76 degrees from the sun, only 7 times the sun's width, yet Meerkat still captured the faint hydroxyl lines despite solar interference. The comet was 1.38 AU from the sun. Thermal models, which account for solar heating dropping with distance squared and cooling with the 4th power of temperature, placed the surface near 45 ref. UV radiation breaks it apart into hydrogen and hydroxyl. The hydroxyl appears at very specific thermal rates, and Meerkat detected them precisely. The Doppler shifts 9.66 meters, the geometry, the timing, all matched theoretical predictions. But there's a problem. The probability of catching this exact signal in this exact narrow window under these exact conditions is microscopic. A radio telescope might have only one viable shot at detecting such a signature in an interstellar object. Meerkat hit it on its first opportunity, yet the strangest twist was Earth's orbital alignment. On October 21st, 3I Atlas crossed behind the Sun-solar conjunction, placing its velocity nearly perpendicular to Meerkat's line of sight. This perpendicular geometry created the narrow absorption lines. Had it been aligned differently, the signal would have been smeared beyond recognition. Everything had to be perfect, and it was. But the hydroxyl detection, powerful as it is, does not explain everything. The anomalies remain. Why the extreme CO2 to water ratio? Why nickel vapor at impossible temperatures? Why the unprecedented polarization? Why the anti-tail pointed toward the sun? Why the peculiar trajectory? Why the solar system plane alignment within 5 degrees? None of these mysteries disappear just because one observation fits the model. This is why the debate is alive, not because people want aliens, but because the data refuses to settle quietly. December 19th, 2025 approaches. 3I Atlas will make its closest approach to Earth, 1.8 AU, 168 million miles. We expect clearer readings. Then comes March 2026. 3I Atlas moves near Jupiter, and NASA's Juno spacecraft will listen with its dipole antenna, scanning 50 Hz to 40 MHz for low-frequency emissions. This is a deadline. If anomalies persist, everything changes. If they vanish, the universe still created a comet so improbable, it challenges our current understanding of how comets form. Let's break it down clearly. What we know for certain: 3I Atlas is physically a comet, Hubble nucleus 3.5 miles. It contains water ice, JWST. It contains CO2, JWST plus spherex. It outgasses hydroxyl Meerkat. What we still cannot explain: the CO2-H2O ratio, the nickel vapor, the negative polarization, the geometric antitail, the trajectory. The hydroxyl detection is a flashlight beam, illuminating one piece of the puzzle while expanding the shadows around everything else. Just like the 1977 WOW signal, the data is real, but the interpretation remains unsettled. Radio astronomers searched for transmissions near 3I Atlas because I suggested its trajectory paralleled the sky position of the WOW signal, not in frequency but in direction. Meerkat responded. It found chemistry, not communication, but the connection itself shows how deeply this mystery reaches, because the real question lurking beneath every calculation is simple: are we alone? For the first time in human history, we're not looking back at old data. We're watching an interstellar object unfold in real time, and with every answer comes a larger question. Meerkat's detection didn't solve the mystery, it sharpened it. It shifted the conversation from wild speculation to the razor edge of scientific uncertainty. December will bring new observations. March will bring even more. What happens in these few months will define whether 3I Atlas becomes a natural comet of unprecedented physics-breaking properties, something wholly different, something engineered, intentional, ancient. Right now, the truth hangs in a delicate balance, suspended between certainty and the unknown. The story is far from over.